Hello guys and welcome back to Planet 40k. So we've gone onto the Warhammer community webpage as I've got home from work, and I've noticed that there's an errata update, so I thought I'd go through that. There's 1, 2, 3, there's 4 items to go through. So I thought we'd go through that. Now, unfortunately, I've sort of batch produced a lot of rate it or hate it videos. So there's going to be a couple of minor errors in them related to these erratas, so just have to forgive me on those. I'm not going to go back and change all the videos, that will take a long time. So you just have to sort of accept that they're going to be slightly outdated, but not by a lot. So let's go through these 4 changes, or 2 of them are erratas and 2 are FAQs, but they give us a bit of a conclusive answer to some questions. So the first one is from the Canoptic Court. It's one of the stratagems that gives you devastating wounds for 2 CP. It's called the Cynosure of Eradication. So what you used to do is you used to get like a Plasmancer with some Immortals, unlock devastating wounds. If you've got an Overlord in the unit, it was free because it's a battle tactic stratagem. That was great. Now, unfortunately, this has been nerfed because it's only going to apply, the devastating wounds part is only going to apply to Cryptek and Canoptic models, not units, models. So it's only going to be like the Canoptic Wraiths and of course the Cryptek models themselves, or if you're doing it to any other Canoptic unit. Basically, not Immortals, because they're not Canoptic models and they're not Cryptek models. So like I said, we used to get the Overlord in there to get the free battle tactic stratagem in there. It makes the Overlord slightly less impactful than it used to be. But I think, yeah, that's quite a big nerf for Immortals, because we were using that. But you know, I say big, it's not massive. It's we were using it and now we can't use it. It's as simple as that. So that's the first one, the Canoptic Court stratagem. The second one is from the Obeisance Phalanx Detachment, the Territorial Obsession stratagem. So this is the one where you get to add OC to your Lich Guard and your Triarch Praetorians. And of course there was a little part of the actual stratagem that related to vehicles, and of course Triarch Praetorians are not vehicles, so they needed to fix it. They have done. They've now put 1 Lich Guard or Triarch unit from your army can use this stratagem, and of course a Triarch Stalker is a Triarch unit, so therefore it can apply. Rules as written will work. Of course we all knew it was rules as implied, but rules as written now does work. So that is the second one. The third and fourth are more FAQs. They're more questions that kind of give us a bit more of a conclusive answer. Admittedly, this first one that I'm going to mention went over my head. I didn't even spot this until I had to sort of go over it a few times in the Discord. But when using the Protocol Conquering Tyrant stratagem from the Awakened Dynasty, or the Locust Destroyer's Hardwired for Destruction ability, to be eligible to reroll hit rolls, does the unit also need to be eligible to reroll a hit roll of a 1? And they've given the answer as no. Now that might go over your head at first. You might be thinking, what does that mean? And I did the same thing. I had to go over it. Basically, let me read out the Locust Destroyer's Hardwired for Destruction ability. So each time a model in this unit makes a ranged attack that targets the closest eligible unit, reroll a hit roll of a 1. Now if the target of the attack is in range of an objective marker, you can reroll the hit roll instead. And the key word there was instead. So what if the enemy unit is on an objective but is not the closest eligible unit? Are you still getting the rerolls, or are you not getting the rerolls? And it was kind of unclear, and to be honest, I just presume that we did, because I never really picked up on it. And to be honest, we actually can anyway, because they've actually clarified this with the FAQ and they've simply answered no, they don't need to be eligible for the rerolls or hit rolls over 1. I mean, I think the FAQ could be worded slightly better with the question and the answer. That's why I've had to read it a few times. But yeah, we are able to get the rerolls whether they're the closest or they're not the closest. If they're on an objective, we're getting the rerolls. That's the long and short of it. The final part to the FAQ was, can I use the Cosmic Precision stratagem to set up a unit anywhere on the battlefield instead of only holding within 6 inches of the battlefield edge, even if they don't have the Deep Strike ability? Now, of course, that relates to the Hypercrypt Legion, and it was a question that I think I've actually done this in a video coming up when I've been talking about Necron Warriors and Ghost Arcs and things like that. So I may have been asking for an answer when I've already got an answer, but the video hasn't been released. But anyway, the answer to this question is yes, which I presumed it would be anyway. So even if a unit doesn't have the deep strike ability, for example the Katana Shot of the Nightbringer, or maybe it's a Doomsday arc perhaps. They don't have deep strike, but if you're using the Cosmic Precision Stratagem, they can come anywhere on the battlefield as long as you're more than 3 inches away from enemy models. That's how I was playing it anyway. I think it was quite clear that it was meant for that, but the wording of the Cosmic Precision Stratagem is quite weird because it says if you're using deep strike or you're entering via hyperphase, but you don't enter via hyperphase because the hyperphase rule or detachment rule isn't a way to enter the battlefield. It's a way to remove yourself from the battlefield to get into street reserves. So it was worded quite oddly, but they've actually clarified this by simply saying yes. So that has made the Hypercrypt Legion much more user-friendly. When we're playing our games, we can be sure that we're doing the right thing now. But yeah, we've had a nerf with the Canoptic, with the Immortals and the Canoptic Core. We've had a little bit of a buff that we kind of already knew about with the Obeisance Phalanx. The Locust Heavy Destroyers, or the Conquering Tyrant Stratagem has been dealt with, even though I wasn't aware of that problem. And the Cosmic Precision Stratagem from the Hypercrypt Legion has also been confirmed that we can use this stratagem even without deep strike. So guys, there should be some more updates coming. I don't know when they're going to do the points updates I don't know when that is. I'm looking on their website now on Warhammer Community. There is no point update at this moment, but when there is, I'll be sure to get a video out and we'll be discussing and analysing those point changes. So guys, next video will be a rate it or hate it as per usual for the moment. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one.